Okay, I'm here with one of my idols, Gary of Clif Bar, also Luna Bar, many other great products. We're going to get into kits, which I'm very excited about. So I was telling you the story of Elephant. We also didn't sell out and had some challenges. I read your book, Raising the Bar, and it kind of saved me in terms of how you can maintain integrity as a business and succeed. So how do you feel about that? You're now obviously a huge company. How do you maintain integrity with that?
Well, huge is relative, but I think the fact that we remain independent, we're family and employee owned, and that's given us really to have the freedom to run this thing according to our values and not the values of Wall Street or the one bottom line. And the way I think of that in a lot of ways, but in my book, which you read, thank you, and I'm honored. It's actually on our floor. You can take a picture of our floor later. This is a map. This floor represents map, and on a map, when I cycle in Europe, yes, I can get from point A to point B very fast on what is signified on the map as a red road. But on a red road, you've got to deal with trucks and buses and loud noise and smog.
So
and it's dangerous.
The big highways.
Yeah, it's fastest way to point A to point B, but it's ugly, and there's no fun involved in that, no adventure. So I found that obviously the best roads to ride are for a bike in particular are those wonderful little roads that go up in the mountains, and on the map they're designated as white roads. So my philosophy is, as a business, we want to ride the white road. I mean, why not go through small villages and stop at pastry shops and coffee and then ride underneath glaciers and why not do that versus getting on the freeway? And a lot of businesses in America are on the red road. They're headed from point A to point B as fast as possible, and yes, they might make a large profit doing that. A lot of times it's short term because there's only so much you can last on the red road, and then something has to break. And
point A to point B is often selling out, and you're not able to control the integrity of the brand.
Absolutely, and that is, unfortunately in this industry, there has been a lot of companies that I personally know of, friends and other owners who were motivated sometimes differently, or got to a point where they didn't know what to do. And 13 years ago now, I was 2 hours away from selling the company to a large multinational corporation because I thought at that point I couldn't compete anymore as a private company. And I got talked into it by my ex-partner, and our employees were fearful that we wouldn't compete with the two largest food companies in the world, being Kraft and Nestle, who just bought our two largest competitors. And so I gave in to that fear and put the company up for sale, and got down to literally the day of signing the company over. And at the last minute, fortunately, I took a little white road walk around the block of the company and decided on the other side of the building that I wasn't going to sell the company.
And that's just a great moment. Elephant talks a lot about mindfulness. In that difficult moment, you weren't feeling right. You took a moment just to reconnect with who you are and what you cared about.
I can't imagine if I didn't take that walk and just take a deep breath and start breathing again, because for 3 months I had felt like, why am I doing this? And I figured that's just the way it is. It's the American dream, right? Start a business with $1,000 and you can sell it for $120 million. I could retire tomorrow, and thank God I didn't, because the company has not only grown since then, we've done so many cool things. We developed multiple bottom line company. We have 5 bottom lines. We call them our 5 aspirations. It's community, planet, people, our brands, and the business, and all of those kind of work together, and everybody here is into it. When you allow people the freedom to not just grow for growth's sakes, but to grow all the values of the business, it's amazing what people will do. And these people are on fire with everything we do as a company. Not just our great products, which is super important to us, but our community service, our sustainability program, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, there's so much there, but one thing I want to mention is you talk a lot about natural demand.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing example with Luna Bar, which is now even bigger than Clif Bar, the original.
Not now. Clif Bar came back and hit another home run.
Okay.
So, but no, Luna Bar continues to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
what is that concept of natural demand?
Well, it's sort of I don't know if technically how to talk about it, but instead of, and I heard a guy talk about a private equity group that came into a business just yesterday and told this business that the guy my friend worked for, he said, next year we're going to grow 30%. Just demanded, you guys, we're growing 30%. Well, what if it doesn't turn, what if you can't do that? Instead of saying, everybody gets together, they look at the new products that they're developing, they understand what all the efforts they're doing, marketing, sales-wise, how different accounts are growing, put all that together and say, you know, given all that, I think we're going to grow 10%. And then everybody plans around 10%. Now, maybe you outdo that, but don't state something. Don't force people to grow at a rate that's unmanageable, unsustainable.
Well, you eloquently talked about in the book, conventional businesses will throw money at a market,
right,
you know, and try and create demand. And like Luna Bar, you just listen to your customers and filled a demand that was already there.
Right.
So one other thing I love about your company you alluded to briefly is your employees love the company and get to have fun, and you support good causes and bike rides. You kind of walk your talk as a company, and so everyone works harder and has more fun. That seems to be a huge advantage of the White Road way.
Yeah, one of our aspirations is sustaining our people, and so we do a lot of benefits that they don't exactly pencil out, but then they do, because everybody is so passionate about working here and will do anything to make this company successful. So, you know, some of the things we do that I haven't heard too many companies do. We have a sabbatical program, every year 7 years, people can take 2 months off to do kind of whatever they want to do, travel around the world. We've got a gym inside that we have 4 full-time trainers that, you know, these are people that are cheerleaders to help people plan their workouts and their training. We have an in-house restaurant. And then we are a 20% ESOP, so we share. You know, everybody has a piece of the company as part ownership through our employee stock ownership plan. And we have a child care center. You know, on and on. And
you have bicycles hanging from the ceiling.
We have a cool commute where people can earn money and gift certificates if they commute on a bike and save on gas. And, so all these things, you know, it's never hurt us to be generous with our benefits and really support people's lifestyle.
Well, I want to thank you. You know, the book particularly, not just the business, but the book is inspiring other entrepreneurs.
Nice. Thank you.
There's not a lot of examples out there for the White Road. So
Should
thank
we
you.
mention the name of that book so these people can...
Raising the Bar. I highly recommend it. We actually want to host a book club for all of us to read it on Elephant.
That's
so,
really nice.
Gary, thank you personally.
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
thanks for your time.
You bet.